What's going on, guys? June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. It's also Pride Month. Men's Mental Health Awareness Month encompasses all men, no matter what hole you are into. That's one thing I like about Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. It's about men. Guys, I get a lot of DMs all the time and people asking me to share my story of what got me to quit drinking and taking pills and kind of getting sober, or my version of sober. And I thought, since June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I would share my story. Sobriety for me is weird. First off, I am not 100% sober. I take weed gummies. I sometimes hit a vape pen, but I've even stopped doing that. Weed gummies for me are more like a relaxation thing or to help me sleep at night. Because, guys, I don't sleep. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning right now, and I'm recording this. I'm wide awake. So I just don't sleep. I sleep like shit. And honestly, I sleep so fucking bad that I go to bed at about 6 o'clock in the morning and I wake up at noon. I'm on this weird vampire fucking schedule and I just can't get off of it. I've been on it for about a year, but it's like the only way my brain works, right? Because I am an introvert. Anyone that knows me knows I don't like going to do shit. I don't like going out. I don't like going to parties. I don't like large groups. I am an introvert to the core. And when I drink, I get loose, I get social, and I found that people like to be around me when I was drunk. I had a lot of fun drinking. I'm not going to lie. Like, some of my best stories that you've heard about on this channel are drunk stories, man. Fireball. I'm drinking Fireball, something going up my butt. All right, that's going to happen. I love me some Fireball, and when I drink Fireball, I do some gay shit. And I've never had a man put a finger up my butt on Fireball, but man, that woman from Mississippi just tore my asshole up. And it was when I was drinking just straight Fireball on the rocks at the Island View Hotel and Casino in Gulfport, Mississippi. Shout out to the Island View. Man, so many times knuckles went up my butt in that place, and I will remember you for that. I also love drinking Jack Daniels and Diet Coke, man. That was my go-to as well. I would sometimes do a Jack Daniels and Diet Coke and a shot of Fireball. And I'm telling you, I would do some crazy shit. And that was something that I enjoyed. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Crown Royal. I know I made a video telling people to stop drink Crown Royal, but I love Apple Crown. Apple Crown and Diet Sprite, something going up my butt. I don't know. Something about that Apple Crown and Diet Sprite and that crisp, refreshing flavor. My butthole just gapes open. I don't fucking know. But I had a lot of fun drinking. I had too much fun, and then I started taking pills. And I drank because I fucking hated myself. I was a recruiter for the National Guard, and I was fucking miserable. I hated being a recruiter. Being a recruiter sucks. And when you're a good recruiter, there's no way out of being a recruiter other than just get promoted. There's only so many positions that you can do in the National Guard at a certain rank. So like E8, right? I was an E7. For me to make E8, there was only like 8 spots. I was fat. I was not good at physical fitness when I was in the military. It was one of the things that held me back. And so I was stuck at E7. I was never going to get promoted. And so when I was in, I was just fucking miserable. And I hated it. And I felt like a trap. I was an E7 for 8 fucking years. And I'm the reason why I never got promoted. Like, if I would have like worked out, got in shape, or taken my career more serious, I would have got promoted. But I was drinking all the fucking time. And I was having fun drinking all the time. And I would go on military work trips and just get fucking wasted. And that was so much fun. But then 2013 hit, and I was like 34 years old. I was like 34, 33, 34. I don't fucking know. And I was drinking really heavy, and I moved from New York back to Michigan. For those of you that have followed me for a long time, I told a story about the living legend of Bob Nanny, and that's my best friend that died in a car accident. He died in 2013, and I took that shit fucking hard. I took it hard because I blamed myself. So I had just moved to Michigan. It was the night before my first day as a recruiting supervisor in the Michigan Army National Guard. I just transferred from New York back to Michigan, where I started as a recruiter. And Bob called me up. It was like 8 o'clock at night, and he asked me to come hang out with him at Dooley's in Utica because he had a rough night, some issue with some chick, and he said he really needed to hang out with me. But man, hanging out with Bob Nanny and getting white girl wasted was not a good idea for me because it was my first day as a recruiting supervisor. I had this big conference I had to go to, and I had to meet all the leadership, and I was just like, bam, Bob, I don't think it's a good idea I go out with you because, man, when I go out with Bob Nanny, some wild shit happens. And so I didn't go. And so the next day, I got up, I drove 2 hours to this conference that I had to go to. It was my first day on the job. I was excited seeing old friends because I used to be a recruiter for the Michigan National Guard, and I deployed. I got fired from the AGR program, and I had to come back as a recruiter. So it was a big deal for me to go back to Michigan because I was going back to the organization that fired me. Like, I had done so well in New York. I had fucked up my career so much, but I had done so much good in New York that the Michigan National Guard was willing to take me back after they fired me, and that felt good. And that's why I didn't go out that night. I just wanted to keep that positivity going. And I'm at this conference, and I get a phone call from Bob's sister letting me know that Bob was killed in a car accident that night. And I fucking lost it. And I've never been the fucking same, guys. He was my best friend. When I was a recruiter, I volunteered to go to Iraq because I had gotten into a bunch of trouble and I needed a change, and I felt bad because I was recruiting kids to go to war. Some of them had gotten hurt, and I felt bad that I hadn't been. So I volunteered to go to war, and there were these guys in this long-range surveillance unit out of the Selfridge Air National Guard Base, Company F425. They were good friends of mine. A couple of them said, hey, you need to go on this deployment with this medical unit with Bob Nanny. He'll take care of you. So I volunteered to go with this medical unit, and I got introduced to this dude, Bob Nanny, and we just instantly clicked, and we got overseas, and he made sure I knew what to do. He was like a really good friend. And I had a lot of people turn on me in recruiting. I had gotten into a lot of trouble and pretty much got fucking fired. And I needed some friends. And when I was deployed, it felt good. It sucked being overseas, being away from my friends and my family in the United States. It sucked, but it also felt good for once. Like, my first time in the military, I'd been in the military 10 years, and I actually felt that camaraderie. I was around people that were happy to have me around after a really shitty thing. So my deployment wasn't like the worst thing in the world. It wasn't like this horrible deployment. We saw one bad day. It wasn't that bad. But Bob and I, man, we bonded. We hung out every fucking day overseas. And when we came home, he didn't want to go home. It was a second deployment, and he volunteered. He stayed over there. So we came home and went about our lives, and Bob did another year in fucking combat. And he came back from his third deployment, a little broken, his cage a little rattled, but not too bad. And then immediately got himself deployed to Iraq a fourth fucking time. And man, in between these deployments, this dude would live it up. He would party. All that money he would save, he would blow on just fucking food and women and just drugs. And the dude fucking lived it up, man. He lived a fucking life. But I could see that fucking decline, man. And I could see that decline. And I had moved to New York, and I said, hey, man, I know you're not doing too good. He had just got back home from his fourth deployment, and I'm like, hey, why don't you come hang out with me in New York and just come stay with me and my wife? And he came and stayed with me, and man, this dude was not the same fucking person. He was not the same fucking person. He was living like he was deployed. He was living out of a fucking Foot Locker in our nice house. At 29 years old, I had just bought my first home. It was fucking sweet. I was proud of it. And this motherfucker is in this nice ass bedroom living out of a Foot Locker. And I didn't understand it, right? I didn't know what was wrong with him. I didn't know how to help him, but he would just get blackout fucking drunk and just rage the fuck out. And I would get drunk with him sometimes and we would have fun. And sometimes I would co-sign his bullshit. But I knew he had problems. And I told some people, I was like, hey man, I think we need to get Bob some help. And everyone's like, nah, he's just who he is. He'll be fine. And so he drank so much, I had to like send him back to Michigan. Then he got a chance to go to Afghanistan. And I was really worried about Bob going to Afghanistan because he was really excited about it. But man, this dude had been deployed 4 times. Man, that's a lot. I don't care what you do on deployment, whether you're in a combat deployment or a forward operating base deployment, whatever, you serve overseas 4 fucking years is a lot. It's a lot for anyone. And he went back. He went back to Afghanistan. I don't know everything that happened when he was there. I didn't really talk about it much, but man, when he came home, he was fucking completely different again. He was like a different person and just drinking all the time. And he had slowly started to get his life together before he got in his car accident. He slowly started to get his life together. But like, I mean, when he died, I blame myself. I blame myself when he died because I didn't go hang out with him that night when he asked me to go hang out with him. I didn't hang out with him. I didn't go be there for my friend. And when he was drunk at my house in New York, I don't think I fought as hard for him as I should have fought, right? I was pretty deep in my own bullshit, and I just didn't know how to handle it, but I knew we needed to get him some help, and when he fucking passed away, there were 2 opportunities that I felt that I failed Bob in getting him the help he needed to prevent this. And I just wish, I still, till this day, I try not to blame myself, but I still wish, till this day, I would have just gone across the street to Dooley's, hung out with him, got wasted. I wish I would have missed my first day of work as a recruiting supervisor, and maybe he'd still fucking be here. But I don't know. And I carried that pain for a long fucking time. And it just took me to some dark places where I just longed for that, like, connection with someone again. You know, he was my best fucking friend, and I have a lot of good friends, but I just longed for that connection again with someone, and I just led me to some dark places with booze and pills, and I did a lot of shit I wasn't proud of, and I became a piece of shit. So when I retired from the military, I was basically kicked out. I couldn't get promoted. I couldn't get promoted because I had gotten so fat that the Army said, hey, you have to fucking retire. So I got out of the military, and I didn't feel like I did everything I could. I felt like a piece of shit. I felt like I wasted 20 years in the military. I could have accomplished so much. Maybe I could have been a sergeant major. I could have done so much, and I didn't do it. And when I got out of the military, I went right to fucking work. I didn't take any transitional leave. I just went right to work at this stupid corporate headhunter job. I was deep in my addiction, and I was trying to fill fucking stupid jobs for like welders and shit. It was fucking awful, and I was drinking during the day. I was deep in my fucking addiction. Deep. I was drinking every day. I was stealing alcohol. I would steal money out of my wife's fucking purse if I didn't have money for fucking alcohol. I was a fucking addict. I was going to the doctor asking for pain pills. I had friends that not a lot of people knew about that were into pills, and I just lived this fucked up life. And then I saw an ad for a Department of Army civilian that was the same job that I was doing in the military. And I saw that, and I'm like, okay, if I can get this job, this is my way out. And this is my way out of this fucking horrible job that I really hate, and maybe just something at least familiar. Because when you leave the fucking military, the transition out of the fucking military is awful. It's fucking horrible. They have all these programs, they say, but those programs fucking suck. Whether you retire or whether you do 4 years, they're fucking awful. I didn't know what to do, and I took the fucking job. I had to jump through hoops. I had to file for bankruptcy because I had fucked up my finances so bad because of my addiction. I had to file for bankruptcy so I could get a security clearance, do my fucking job. And I'd finally just said enough is enough, and I just quit drinking because I didn't want to fuck up that opportunity. I didn't want to fuck up a good job, a chance at a career, at a chance of stability, because, they say, the bulk of your mental health issues come from your childhood. I fucking believe that. I came from nothing. I grew up fucking poor. I grew up with not shit. And the thought when I got out of the military, my biggest fear was that I'm going to be in the fucking poorhouse. I'm not going to find a job. My job as a DOD civilian for the National Guard was to make sure the enlistment process went smoothly and to keep the military from doing stupid stuff like enlisting somebody with a fake diploma, all that shit. Well, when I went back around the same people I used to be around when I was drunk, they couldn't handle me. And so I wanted to tell you guys this, that if you get clean and if you quit drinking and you do that, there's going to be some fucking people that aren't going to be able to handle the new version of you. And so that was a hard adjustment for me to take, and it was a hard adjustment for the military that knew me for 20 years as an addict. I was always that guy that they would take on trips because I was fun to fucking party with, all that stuff. But when I came back sober and I was all business and serious about getting the job done and doing it right, they couldn't handle that version of me. They couldn't handle a version that said, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. Because when I was in the military, I was fucking fat and I couldn't pass the physical fitness test. And they would pass that shit for me, have that to hang over my fucking head so I would do just about anything. But when I was a DOD civilian, none of that shit applied, and I could tell a freaking lieutenant colonel to suck my fucking dick. We're not doing that, sir. I didn't do that, but I could have done that, and I did tell them to fuck off a lot of times. We're not doing that, sir. And they didn't have shit to hang over my head for the first time. And that was hard for the National Guard, and that was hard for me to handle. And so I'm newly sober, right? I'm not drinking anymore. I'm not taking pills. I'm smoking hella weed at this point. At this point, I'm completely addicted to cannabis. I'm smoking weed all day. I'm in the parking lot. It's fucking with my brain. And I had to leave the Department of Defense. I didn't leave the Department of Defense to pursue comedy or entertainment. I need to be just direct about that. I didn't do that. I left the Department of Defense and the stable employment it provided because I just couldn't fucking handle it anymore. I couldn't handle it sober. I didn't have any tools. I'm raw dogging life. I have not gone to any kind of recovery, AA or anything. I've seen a psychiatrist. I've seen therapists and stuff like that, but I'm not in any kind of treatment, never been in any kind of treatment. And then when I got out, I said, I'm just going to chase comedy, entertainment, content creation, and I'm going to see what happens. And man, it's been hard. It's been real fucking hard. I moved down here to Austin last year from Chicago. I've been in a couple comedy scenes. I've been in the Detroit comedy scene. I've been in the Chicago comedy scene. I'm in the Austin comedy scene. And I don't feel accepted by any of those comedy scenes. I don't feel accepted anywhere. And when I first moved here, I really didn't feel accepted. I had bombed on Kill Tony, and I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do to ensure I got a win on Kill Tony. I wasn't doing the things I needed to do. I was just depressed and upset that things weren't going my way, and I would only do the bare bones minimum. I'd go to the Comedy Mothership open mic, and I would sign up for Kill Tony just to show my fucking face, and I would go back to my house, and I would introvert out and make videos or not do shit. And I bombed on Kill Tony, and I earned that bomb. Earned it. 100% earned it. But man, it took me to a dark place because I was thinking, man, I had sold myself on this Kill Tony thing is going to be so fucking awesome, right? I'm going to get on Kill Tony. It's going to be life-changing. And it wasn't life-changing. It was fucking embarrassing. And then I got mad at myself. I got real depressed for a long time. And I fell off the wagon again. And I'm not proud of it. I fell off the wagon again. I had had a long run of sobriety, like 6 years. And I fell off the wagon one night, and I feel like a piece of shit for doing it, and I got right back on it. I got right back on the wagon. I quit smoking weed. I don't smoke cannabis. Every once in a while, I'll hit somebody's vape or pick a drag off a joint. I'm not going to lie, but I don't consume cannabis. I don't inhale cannabis on a regular basis anymore. I take gummies at night to sleep. Am I gummied up right now? Your boy's gummied up. I'm gummied up right now. But that's hopefully I can sleep tonight. You know, there's some things I'm upset about. There's some things I'm still upset about that fuck me up. One of the things that fucks me up is I do feel like I fucked up my military career. Now, I know I gotta leave it in the past. I know I gotta leave it in the past. There's nothing I can do about it now. I can only focus on what I'm doing now and moving forward. But one of the things I'm doing to try to like right that wrong is I really take care of my health, guys. I fast. I work out. I go to the gym every day. I really try my hardest to eat right and take care of my body and take care of my physical body. And I'm probably in the best shape I've ever been. I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. I'm thinner than I've ever been. I feel like I'm in the best health I've ever been at 46 years old. And I'm staying sober. I'm not faltering. I'm taking better care of my mental health. I'm taking a lot better care of my mental health. But I still struggle, guys. I still struggle. I'm struggling right now. Right now I'm struggling. June is the anniversary of Bob Nanny's death. Memorial Day was just past us. Memorial Day fucks me up. The anniversary of Bob Nanny's death fucks me up. All of June fucks me up. All of July fucks me up. I'm a fucking mess. I'm a mess every fucking summer. And all I can do is do things I need to do to take care of my mental health. And right now, I don't go out a lot. And maybe I need to get out more, but I don't go out a lot. I just take care of myself. I stay up at night. And I know it's weird that I stay up at night, but you know what? My brain functions better at night. So, as weird as it is that I live like a fucking vampire, it works for me right now. And I'm only sharing this with you guys because I just want you to know that we're all going through it. We're all fucking going through it. And whatever you got to do to take care of your mental health, do it. Whether that's go for a walk, work out, start a new hobby, meditate, journal, anything. You know, do whatever you got to do. I know this story was all over the place. I just wanted to share what I could with you guys. I hope this information helps. Thank you for your service.